Hey everybody, how's it going? Danny Saleh here, aka Travel Man Dan, aka Reading Man Dan, and welcome to day number 36 of my 75 hard journey. Yeah, day 36. Rocking and rolling. I feel great. Doing each and every task. It is about 4 o'clock right now, and I'm almost through all my tasks. I still got to take the photo. I got to have my second workout of the day, and I got to follow along on the diet program, which entails, 1,500 calories and no cheat meals and no alcohol. Guys, I got another 40 more days before I can just guzzle that beer down, take a couple of shots, and have a blast. But honestly, I'm really enjoying it because I just hit 60 days. If you remember the last beer show that I did on February 5th, that was the last time I had a drink. So it's actually been 62 days, and then on top of it, I got probably another 40 to go. So 102 days sober. I'm going to feel great. I already feel amazing. It's going to be something I'm really going to have to take a look at and rededicate throughout my life. Just with alcohol, I probably won't go back to drinking as much as I was weekly in the beer show, but you never know. I mean, I could bring it back. I don't know. We'll kind of revisit that later, but I'm going ahead and documenting each and every day of my journey here on YouTube so that I can go back and look at it, and hopefully I'll get through it. Like, I haven't even finished yet, and I'm talking like I'm at the finish line, but hopefully I'll be able to get through it, and 5 months from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, I'll be able to look back on it and see how well I did, and just follow along and chronicle my journey. But another real big motivational factor for me was that I go ahead and inspire one single person to give the 75 hard journey a try. Maybe they go ahead and they follow each day, and they are watching, maybe they're not commenting, but they're watching, and they're saying, you know what, if Danny can do it, he looks like just a regular dude, I bet you I can do it. I'm feeling great. So if that person is you, know that you're going to feel amazing. You're going to be able to, really kind of shape things and kind of focus in on your discipline, right? And I just coming off of the crutches from my MCL tear operation, which was 2 months ago. And I'm just locked in with all my discipline tasks for not only challenge, but things that I got to get done, whether it be work, whether it be something creative that I'm working on here at YouTube, or audition wise. I'm locked in on that stuff. And I got to be honest with you, this is I had this surgery before, so it wasn't the easiest thing emotionally, right? When you go through a surgery, I don't know how to explain this. If they cut you open and they drill into your bone and they reconstruct everything, it does something mentally to you. It gets you a little squirrely, right? You go through these weird, I don't know about depression, but you definitely are very, very emotional. So, I'm just coming out of that. I feel like, my mind is just all over the place for the last 2 months. You're just trying to focus on healing. Okay, just trying to focus on healing. And anybody that's gone through this, and I've done it several times now, and anybody that's ever gone through this knows what I'm talking about. When you go through this type of traumatic, stressful situation where you can't use an arm or a leg or a hip or whatever the case be, your back, your neck, whatever, it does something psychologically to your whole aura for a little bit, right? Now, luckily, I was able to get back on track. I can feel it coming back, but there was this, a little bit of time where I'm just, like I said, squirrely emotions is the best way for me to go ahead and categorize that. But I'm here, guys. I'm having a blast. I'm getting through it, all the tasks. About halfway through all my tasks, about halfway in the day. The Sabres kicked some ass this morning. The Yankees are about to start, and we got UFC tonight. Hell yeah, baby. So excited. But, so I know last week was hectic with a lot of the stuff that I had to do for work, conferencing, being out, at dinner. Sometimes, I said to myself, Danny, why did you do all this at once? Why did you do the 75 hard on crutches and coming out of surgery, and then on top of it make YouTube videos? So, look, it's hard, but I'm getting through it. I'm really putting myself to the fire here. But, like last week, I was going to continue reading the book. I wasn't able to because I just had stuff to do. So today I'm going to continue. Today we're back on the book. And if you don't know, this is what I'm reading, The 75 Hard Tactical Guide to Winning the War with Yourself. It is written by the creator of the 75 Hard Challenge, Andy Frisella. Book is great. If you ever want to find some more information, you can either watch this series or you can just order the book yourself and read it. It tells you everything, how you're supposed to do it. And he's very, very clear, right? There is no, we'll just call it cheating, right? It's very clear what he says in the book, what you can and can't do, what you can, the whole thing with the whole challenge is people want to modify the hard things in their life so that they're not so hard and that they can get through them. And look, everybody's guilty of this, right? Everybody's guilty of this. And that's what he talks about throughout the book and the podcast, is having that mental toughness to show up and do the tasks daily so that you're able to get through whatever you're procrastinating, whatever you're modifying in your life. There's days where, I don't want to get out of bed. There's days where I don't want to go outside and work out. There's days where I want to slam pizza, hot dogs, cupcakes, beer, everything. But you just can't, right? You got to hold yourself to more integrity when you're doing these types of things, especially now during the challenge. Now you can let yourself completely go, right? I'm not the police of people. But what I am saying is when you get these tasks in order and your life and you're going ahead and you're accomplishing things little by little by little by little, you find that growth that you're capable of, that you want to happen. And it's relative to everybody, every profession, everybody around the world. You find the growth and the things that are moving you forward throughout doing these simple tasks, right? It's been called tons of different things. There's a really great book out there that I heard about called Atomic Habits. It's the same principle. Getting these little tasks done every single day starts to build your mental toughness, so that when you're taking these tasks out, like the water, for instance, you're able to supplement another task that you want to put in there daily that's making you go further in life that you can, right? And I don't necessarily think it's all about like success driven and career and things like that. I think it's just the quality of life, right? Having that that integrity, having that excellence, okay? To really hold yourself accountable and do the things you say you're going to do. I always think that's the most admirable quality about people, is when they do the things they say they're going to do. Now, look, everybody does things later than what they say, but just stay on task. So anyway, enough of the rambling. Let's get into chapter number 10, and this may be the most interesting chapter. You ask how was it ever created? Why was this ever done? But here we go. This is going to explain it. 20 years and it finally clicked. How 75 Hard came into existence. Here's what you need to understand. I've been learning everything I could about mental toughness for the last 20 years. I read books, I've watched movies, I've listened to audio programs, I've consulted experts. I've gained my own lessons in the crucible of real life, as does everybody, right? But I'm releasing this program to the public now because of a breakthrough I had recently, an aha moment that provided the spark for finally putting it all together. On one of my MFCEO Project Podcast episodes in early 2019, my guest was James Lawrence, aka the Iron Cowboy. He's the dude who completed 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 different states. Holy crap. All right, wow. Okay, Iron Cowboy. That is some crazy shit right there. That is crazy. If you don't know what Ironman is, it's a triathlon where you swim, I believe, I think it's 2 miles. Then you get on a bike and ride 110 miles, and then you run a marathon, 26.2 miles. So the guy was able to do it 50 days in a row in 50 different states. That's nuts. All right. It was an unbelievable accomplishment, something I don't think will ever be done again. James is hands down one of the most mentally tough dudes I have ever met, if not the toughest. At one point during our conversation, he was talking about owning the mental conversation with yourself, which is super important, right? You know that little thing that goes on in your brain and always talks to you, and you know you have to listen to your heart or whatever. You know, this is important stuff. He said, to be successful at the highest levels, you have to do stuff you don't like. It's part of the formula. We're moving forward or we're moving backwards. And if you're not uncomfortable, you're moving backwards. Oh, I love that. Love that very much. Well, I've always known that this was the key to happiness and success. But to hear someone else say it like that, someone who has done something to the extreme that he has done, it made something click in my brain. The whole puzzle that I've been thinking about for the last 20 years, about how to create mental toughness, it just came to me in that moment. In the podcast, I actually stopped him and I said, whoa, you said something very powerful. You said something that is key to cultivating mental toughness. What did James say? He said this: the number one key to cultivating mental toughness is to intentionally put yourself in places that are uncomfortable. Intentionally. You do it. You make yourself do it. You're in this uncomfortable spot. No more lazy bullshit sitting around, yeah, it's comfortable. It's real comfortable, but it's lazy, man. It's lazy. If you want more out of your life, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions so that you're given the chance to go ahead and overcome them. And as I thought about it, over the last 20 years, I realized that was exactly what I had done. It was what I had done for years without really knowing what I was doing or understanding why I did it. And I just love the way that he puts this, because I feel like a lot of people can connect to this. I definitely identify with it. I put myself in a lot of uncomfortable positions and I don't even realize it, but I find a way to get through it. I find a way to plow through it, and you probably do as well. I had intentionally put myself in uncomfortable situations. I had intentionally chosen to do hard things. And that's how I developed the skills of confidence, self-discipline, grit, and all that. And that's absolutely right. Like, look, the hardest profession in the world for my money is got to be an entertainer. Because you have to perform, and especially as an actor, let's take the side out of like actually doing the thing as an actor, okay? Like doing the acting part. Once you get the part, you got to get the part. And that's one of the hardest friggin' things in the world, because we face rejection every single day. Every single day you have to go on a job interview, and 90% of the time you don't get it. You don't get the job, okay? And that's all the preparation that goes into it. That's all the preparing, getting sharp, that all kind of auditioning, all that kind of stuff. And you don't get the part. You don't even get the job. So unbelievably hard. Obviously, yes, an astrophysicist, an astronaut, a politician at the high ranks of presidency or prime minister, those are all hard jobs. An orthopedic surgeon. What I'm talking about is like the path that you choose to go and follow that career. Like, what is it, right? Because if you want to be a doctor, the medical science is there. Everything is out there. You just have to bust your friggin' ass and study. If you want to be a lawyer, you got to grind, man. You have to friggin' grind and learn stuff, right? And just get out there. And, that is all just as hard. But you can do it. You can make yourself uncomfortable and put yourself through that. And when you get there, man, I can't wait. It's going to feel so damn good. I know I friggin' earned it, right? And let's find out. That's exactly how I created mental toughness. As I was thinking about all this, I made another connection in my head. I had another life-changing realization. Aha, number 2. I realized that becoming mentally tough was the single greatest factor in my own happiness. Now, you might be thinking, Andy, what are you talking about? Doing hard things and creating mental toughness, that's what makes you happy? Yes. It's 100% true. That is what I'm saying. And if you understand that and you start embracing it, you and your life will never be the same. Love that. So pay attention to what you're about to read because this is huge. Hard equals happy. All right. If you ask most people if they want to do hard things, they'd say, no way. So if you told someone, picture happiness, the vast majority of people would absolutely not picture themselves working their asses off. Instead, they would picture themselves sitting on the beach, drinking a beer, kicking back, and relaxing. Why? Because that's the picture of happiness you have been sold your entire life. Yeah. Retirement, easy street, beaches, sand, stupid looking umbrella drinks. You didn't come up with that one on your own. Look around and pay attention, and you will see very quickly that the things people say make them happy really don't at all. And if you look closer, you'll see that the marketing never aligns with the reality. The truth of the matter is, if you're honest with yourself, the moments you feel best are yourself are right after you did something hard. That's so true. I mean, how many times do you see people on social media and they're going ahead and they're making their life look fantastic off a snapshot or a picture or, a boomerang thing? But actually, in actuality, the things that really, are making them sad and depressed is that. And they're putting it out there to make it look happy. That ain't freaking hard. It's easy. I could take a picture of anything and caption it and whatever. And the reality is exactly what Andy Frisella is saying. The times that you feel the best are after you've accomplished something that's been really hard. And you go through it and you learn and you develop and you get good at it. Man, that's a great feeling, isn't it? Whether it be athletics or academics, whether it be something that you've been waiting for a long time and working on, or, just it's something that you thought was unbelievably impossibly able to obtain, and you just went for it and got it. Man, you trained for a marathon, and in spite of all your fear and self-doubt, you finished it. That's a great feeling. You finally decided to confront the intimidating coworker who treats you like crap, and you defended yourself. That's a great feeling. You've invested hours and hours into a presentation for a major client, an account no one thought you were going to get, and you closed the deal. That is a great feeling. You finally decided to quit drinking after years and years of struggling with alcoholism. And after going 90 straight days of AA and working the program every day after that, you've achieved your first year of sobriety. Wow, that's probably an amazing feeling as well. You've completed an Ironman. Wow. You've severed ties with the person you love, but who is extremely toxic. Interesting, right? All right, you finally earned your pilot's license. You won a fitness competition. The list is endless. But what is, in fact, is that every time you did something hard, even though you struggled, even though it was humiliating at times, been there. Even though you failed again, been there and again, been there. Before you started making real progress, eventually when you achieved success, you completed that incredibly difficult task. And you felt amazing, right? Think about it. Seriously. Write down in the comments anything that you thought about for a while, were scared of, and went after it. It took a long, hard time, and you failed, but you got through it and you did it. I bet you felt unbelievably happy. All right, your level of happiness was off the charts because you hadn't just done something hard. You had become someone far better. That's what happens when you do hard things. Your level of happiness is tied in direct proportion to how much discipline you are currently exercising. All the pieces fell into place. When I had these two great realizations, all the pieces fell into place. I realized the connection between doing hard things and developing mental toughness. And when I went home that night, I was fired up. I figured out what I needed to do. I needed to come up with a program that created mental toughness. And the guiding principle of that program was going to be getting people to intentionally put themselves in places that are uncomfortable. Intentionally, right? Notice he said that on purpose. Not only that, but I needed to get them to do that long enough that it would become part of who they were. So much so that it would radically transform their lives and producing the kind of satisfaction with themselves and happiness their lives had never experienced before. In other words, I had to get people to do things that are hard. The things that I have learned that can constantly develop and fine-tune the skill of mental toughness. Things that are hard. day in and day out, on purpose, every day. All right, love that. For a long fucking time. All right, but how long was long enough? Well, at the time, I had $250,000 bet going on with the other members of the Ardent Syndicate, which is an elite group of overachieving entrepreneurs that I founded with Ed Milet. I made this pledge that I would get down to 10% body fat or less by next meeting, which was May 18th, 2019. That day happened to be 75 days from the day I had my epiphany about mental toughness. So I thought, okay, I'm locking in for the next 75 days. I know I'm committed to my goal and mentally tough enough to accomplish it. Since I'm taking the next 75 days to lock in on my goals, and since 75 is a pretty long period of time, I'll ask people to join me. I'll ask them to do hard things to develop mental toughness every day for the next 75 days. That's why I call it 75 Hard. I revealed the program on my podcast, number 14, and on social media, and literally thousands upon thousands of people pledged to do it. I invited them to join me. Now I'm inviting you, and that's what I'm talking about by inspiring one single person. I guarantee it will teach you how to cultivate mental toughness. I guarantee by the end of 75 days, you will not be the same person. Your life will be transformed. I guarantee that if you do everything you are supposed to do, you're going to experience a kind of happiness that is only experienced by an elite minority of people on earth. The people who have paid the price to win the price of mental toughness. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I want to do it. I want to figure out what that feeling is like. I want to go through and see I want to be on the other side of that conversation. Before we even get into the nitty gritty, I'm going to zero in on the epic battle, the titanic struggle you're going to experience during your progress through this program. It's the battle of the boss versus the bitch. All right, we'll get into chapter 11, the boss versus the bitch, the epic battle of 75 Hard tomorrow. But that's it, man. That's love this chapter because Andy Frisella talks about mental toughness and what it takes, and he figured it out, and that's how 75 Hard came into existence. I'm feeling great after 36 days of it. I'm doing every task exactly like I said I was going to do. It's not been easy, but I'm feeling the benefits of it. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that I can go back and look on it and just basically see how I chronicled each day. I hope that you found some value and entertainment. Most of all, I hope that I can go ahead and inspire one single person to give 75 Hard a try. Go ahead and leave me a comment below if you're that one person. But thank you as always. I'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you watching. I'm Danny Soleil, a.k.a. Travel Man Dan, a.k.a. Reading Van Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it.